We are here in Cairo, Egypt, and let's be real, Cairo might not be the easiest city to navigate.
We do not speak Arabic, and we are going to step into a culture that's completely foreign to us.
We have also read a lot of blogs and watched a lot of videos of people sharing horror stories about Cairo. A lot of people are also recommending to hire a guide around here.
But we are going to try to attempt to navigate Cairo without a guide.
Will it be worth it? Will we be able to discover the city's true essence, or will we regret this decision?
Watch till the end of the video to find out.
Good morning, we are going to the ancient pyramids of Giza.
It is going to be a great day today.
It's going to take about an hour to get from downtown Cairo all the way to pyramids of Giza, and we're pretty excited to see this ancient wonder of the world.
On our own.
On our own, yes. So let's get going, shall we?
Let's go.
For first-timers in Cairo, booking a tour to the pyramids can be pretty common. But English-speaking tours, which would include only a guide and a transport, would cost more than $50 per person, and this would put a dent into our daily budget. Since we decided not to join a tour, getting to the pyramids became our first challenge. We figured the most affordable way would be to get onto a metro and then take the microbuses, since the direct line to the pyramids would not be ready until at least 2027. And just as we exited the metro, we bumped into an English teacher from Libya who is bringing his son to see the pyramids for the first time. He invited us to join the ride with him using the local way.
So what's your son's name?
Adam.
Adam.
What's your name?
Aaron.
Sure.
Nice to meet you.
He said he has 6 children and he would visit Egypt with his children one at a time. Adam is the youngest in the family.
My big daughter, she's married and she has 2 babies. I'm a grandfather.
Nice.
She has 2 girls.
Soon he would flag one of the local microbuses in Cairo, apparently headed in the direction of the pyramids. In Cairo, the microbus is a mystery on wheels. There are no signs, there are no schedules, just a wave of a hand and a nod from the driver, and people were just getting on and off. After a cramped 30 minutes ride, the microbus stopped us somewhere close enough, but not yet within walking distance to the pyramids. A few more minutes after, the tuk-tuk driver drove us through a road that gave us the first glimpse of the pyramids. We were in awe, and so was little Adam, who went completely silent, staring with his mouth wide open. And once we arrived at one of the 2 pyramid entrances, we got off the tuk-tuk and walked towards the ticketing entrance before heading into the compounds of the pyramids.
We are finally here at the pyramids of Giza. Right in front of me is the Sphinx as well as 3 pyramids. They are so monumental, nothing like I've ever seen before. I'm just impressed, I just can't take my eyes away from these 3 incredible ancient structures.
Before we entered the Giza complex, of course we had to get the tickets. The ticket counter is right behind us, and it's a short distance away from the entrance of the pyramids.
It costs 700 Egyptian pounds to enter as of 2025. If you want to enter the insides of the pyramids, it will cost more. After we got our tickets, we headed to the entrance, and outside the entrance there are just a lot of people. It's like quite a long queue. Some of the people are guides, some of the people are actual tourists who wants to get in, and the guides are the ones that are kind of like asking for a business, and they just took our tickets and said like, hey, come follow me and I'll show you around, I'll show you inside, without even asking. We told them thank you very much, we ignored them, and then we entered through the airport style security checks. And that was when something actually happened.
At the entrance, there was a security check. We had to put our bag through the x-ray machine, and that's where the person handling the x-ray machine saw that we had a long lens. She made us take out the long lens and pointed at a 200mm mark and said that, oh, a long lens isn't allowed in the pyramids. So we told her that we wouldn't use a long lens, and she kindly allowed us to keep it in our bags. And then after that, she asked for a small tip, to which we gave a 30 Egyptian pound tip. But it's fine, we're finally here in the compounds. We got a ticket to walk around the compound, and it's 700 Egyptian pounds, and we didn't get any to enter any of the pyramids.
There are actually 9 pyramids here, 3 for the pharaohs and the rest are for the wives. They're very grand, and right in front of that is the Sphinx, which looks into Pizza Hut right over there.
Yeah, and this Sphinx was actually carved from one block of limestone that was already here. And of course now it has been supplemented with other blocks of limestone.
Let's go and check it out up close.
I'm so jealous.
It's really monumental to see the pyramids right behind us, and it takes a while to travel from one corner of the pyramid to the other corner of the pyramid. And I must say, like, looking up close at those boulders, it must be unimaginable how people in the past are able to lift such amounts of load. I think it's still a mystery till today, right?
Yeah, they have kind of figured out where they got the slabs from, but they have not figured out how it was constructed. Some people think it was using a pulley system, some people think that it was using slopes, and nobody could actually accurately define how the pyramids were built.
China?
No.
Korea?
No.
Japan?
Nope.
Where you from?
Nope.
Hong Kong? Number one. Number one. Number one.
Thank
Number
you.
one. No, you can't top the pyramids. Number one.
You wanna go back, Camel?
No animals.
Maybe?
No animals.
You go to Panorama, 300 baht.
Thank you.
In Egyptian price. Because China couldn't even Egypt. From the top there, take a photo all pyramid.
It's okay.
And you see the New Museum and the Sphinx. All 300 in Egyptian. 300.
Shukran.
Wallah, you come back. Send that, look.
Okay.
Look, man.
Thank you.
Come back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very quiet money.
It's okay.
Right up.
It's
Not
okay.
pay him now. After you are happy, can give him. Not happy, not together.
No, no worries. Thank you so much.
That's $5.
No, it's
About
okay.
100 pounds.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Sure, like that, look. The pyramid panorama, you see like that, look. That's too much walk, panorama far away. She's all to one line. Everybody leave it, they go in. You come back.
Thank you so much, brother. Shukran.
Okay, bye-bye.
We're still walking and he's still trying to talk for us.
This way, panorama, look. The people are up there.
Shukran, shukran.
Look, the panorama up there.
We are not the people who says yes, so
So for us, it's kind of annoying because instead of asking once or twice, they ask like 10 times. I guess this is how life is like right here.
There's something about wandering freely, getting lost between ancient stones that felt more meaningful than following a set path with rehearsed stories. Pre-save e-guides on our phone filled our knowledge gaps, providing enough context to appreciate where we were without being led from one photo stop to the next. But this choice comes with trade-offs. Without a guide, navigating the vast necropolis and trying to capture moments ourselves added a layer of effort. A guide might have made things a little smoother, offering protection against touts, historical context, and help with photos. But finding one inside the compound wasn't worth the hassle. There's just simply a lack of transparency in pricing our packages, and it's also hard to tell who's legitimate. So if a guide is part of the plan, it's almost always better to arrange one online in advance. I think one of the pyramids is missing.
As we're walking right in front of us, one of the pyramids has disappeared, the pyramid of Khufu. It disappeared, the biggest one disappeared. And right now we can only see two of it. And actually the reason is that
the pyramid was stolen by Dr. Gru. That's the right reason.
it has been about 4 hours since we stepped into the pyramids of Giza, and we have just been wowed. Every angle that we went to, we're just like, whoa, this is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy. Standing from afar, the pyramids look so beautiful. Everything is picture perfect. And once we got up close, we could really appreciate how majestic the pyramids are. It is only when we touch the blocks and we see how huge they are that made us realize how crazy these pyramids are. And can you imagine The oldest pyramid here, the Pyramid of Khufu, was built over 4,500 years ago. It stood the test of time. This is the Pyramid of Menkaure. As you can see, it is unfinished. This is the smallest of the three main pyramids. It is kind of special because it has a granite base and a limestone top. And on my left is the Pyramid of Khafre. The Pyramid of Khafre is actually slightly smaller than the Pyramid of Khufu, but because it's built on a higher plateau, it appears taller, from this perspective at least. The Pyramid of Khafre is unique because right at the top, you can still see some of the limestone casing that has not been eroded yet.
There are guides that you can get before you enter the pyramids, and there are guides that you can get at the entrance of the pyramids or even inside the pyramids. And I guess they're all pros and cons to getting a guide. So do we really need a guide?
I mean, a guide could explain to us the significance of the different pyramids. The guide might be able to bring us around the pyramids, and the guide might be able to fend off some of the touts. There are cons, of course. The most obvious one is that a guide costs money, and the quality of a guide might differ from person to person. So I think for us, we will never know the quality or how in-depth the explanation would be. Another con is that we would have to follow the guide's itinerary because they are driven commercially, and we wouldn't be able to take our time to take videos, to take photos, and also properly experience this place. And also the guide might give inaccurate information which we wouldn't be able to fact check on the spot. For us, it was interesting to do some research beforehand to understand different points of view from different Egyptologists and kind of get a gist of the greatness of these pyramids.
There's one more reason why I decided not to get a guide today is because sometimes guides could go into too much details that we won't even remember a single thing after we've visited or after we've been through the experience. And sometimes when we do our own research, we remember things a lot better. So that is why we decided not to have a guide today. As long as you're reasonably fit, I think this place is very walkable. In fact, I don't think you need a camel or a horse to bring you around.
I think it's really fun to just wander around and walk wherever we want to. Hey guys, good morning. Today we are going to visit Al-Mu'izz Street. Al-Mu'izz Street is one of the oldest streets in Cairo and is probably one of the most iconic streets here. This street dates back to the 10th to 12th century and it is named after the Fatimid Caliph who founded Cairo.
This street is one long street that has a lot of Islamic architecture, and it also has a souk, which is a bazaar. And we are going to do all of these without a guide. Let's go.
Our first goal was to head towards Khan El-Khalili, which is the most popular bazaar in Cairo. It has probably some of the most bizarre things that you can find in this wall, which include spices that we don't even recognize to questionably sourced taxidermies. Despite so, because of the wide range of products available,
this is the perfect place to buy souvenirs for your friends and families back home.
Within Khan El-Khalili, there is a cafe that is dated back to 1771. After walking through the tiny streets which felt like a maze to us, we decided to dine in and have our morning caffeine fix.
So right now we are at a cafe that apparently existed since Napoleon invaded Egypt, and this cafe sells coffee and tea and has still been operating after over 300 years.
So we got some Egyptian tea and a cup of cappuccino.
Where are you from?
Singapore.
Lebanese.
Singapore.
Singapore.
Ah, Singapore. Yeah.
Chinese.
You're Chinese? Nah.
Other than Khan El-Khalili, we also got tickets to a few key attractions along the street, which included the Al-Qalawun mosque and madrasa.
This Al-Qalawun complex is a huge complex. There's a hospital, a school as well, a burial dome, and it's built in the 13th century, and it's a massive project built by Mamluk Sultanate. It's a massive mega project back then at its time so that he can consolidate his power as well as show his wealth and status across the Islamic world. It's really impressive with all the marble stucco as well as Islamic decorations.
We also got tickets for Bayt al-Suhaymi, a traditional Egyptian Islamic themed house.
This is an Ottoman house that is built in the 16th and 17th century that showcases how like a person back then would live extremely wealthily in the past. This place is like a maze. There are over 150 rooms. It's not like an IKEA showroom where you can walk from one end to the other end. There's so many ways to get around, and we're just walking inside the rooms, which are quite dark. I wish I knew what these rooms are for, whether they are hosting people or whether or not it's their bedrooms or whether or not it's their shower rooms or whatsoever. I wish I knew better.
Even though there is a map out front telling us which room were meant for which purpose, we couldn't really remember, and when we saw the rooms we couldn't understand what they were for. Perhaps if we had a guide, the guide could better explain what the different rooms were for.
The last attraction was Al-Hakim Mosque, which is a mosque that was often neglected in the centuries since its construction. The attraction is not ticketed, but visitors are required to wear modest clothing out of respect for the sacred space.
This mosque is known for its imposing stone minarets. Initially, this mosque was made of stones and bricks, but recently they have revamped the floor to be made of marble. When we entered, we noticed this huge sense of serenity. Everyone was just walking around, having the time of their lives, taking many pictures because of how beautiful it is inside.
Whereas most mosques that we have been to have very intricate designs, this one is very modern, very clean and very new.
Even though everyone was having so much fun, everyone was being really quiet because it is still a religious place after all. Even though we didn't see anyone praying, we still had to be respectful. I had to put a head covering before we enter.
So that's it guys, we just finished touring Almir Street and we visited some of the key landmarks.
1 kilometer of such a historic street, I think we had quite some fun.
So today is our last day in Cairo, and this is kind of like our small little verdict about whether or not we need a guide. I felt that for the pyramids of Giza, maybe we didn't really needed a guide in that case. However, I was dying to know a little bit more about the architecture, the significance and the history behind Islamic Cairo, and maybe a guide would be helpful in that case.
Most of the blogs online recommend to get a guide to fend off the touts. For us, we didn't really experience that many or that aggressive touts, but I think the key benefit of having a guide is to better understand the place, which I think would be pretty worth it for a place like Islamic Cairo. Of course, a big consideration is the budget. Having a guide will definitely eat into our budget, and as you know, we are doing budget traveling, so we try to self-serve whenever we can.
So I guess at the end of the day, whether or not we needed a guide or not, it really depends on personal preference and what you want to achieve when you visit Cairo. And for us, like, we felt that it's okay without a guide, except for when we really felt that like we are leaking a lot of information out there and we are curious to know more. So that's it for adventures here in Cairo. I'll see you guys in our next video in Egypt. Bye bye!